Welcome into the Lakers Report by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Senior. Hope all of you are having a good Monday, coming off a phenomenal and jam-packed weekend. A lot to get to on today's show. We start off with LeBron James. Is there a possibility that he could decline a contract extension with the Los Angeles Lakers? Now, starting August 4th, he's eligible to sign a 2-year, $97 million deal. We'll dive into this here in just a few moments, but first, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because if the Lakers make any move throughout this offseason, whether it be LeBron James, somebody else in free agency, or in the NBA draft, we'll keep you up to date with all things purple and gold, so hit that red subscribe button down below. This coming from HoopsHype, more of an opinion piece from HoopsHype about LeBron James's long-term future with Los Angeles. I said this, I would guess the Lakers will put that offer on the table as soon as it's available. The Lakers offseason will most likely be complete by then, so he should have an idea if he wants to commit to the Los Angeles Lakers for another 2 years. My guess is he does not extend with the Lakers for a couple of reasons. One, he can sign it up until June 30th, 2023. Two, he might want to keep the pressure on the Lakers organization after the year that they just had, which was obviously tumultuous. Three, he's LeBron James. As long as he's playing at this level next year, a max contract will be available to him. And I think no matter what the situation is, with LeBron James and the Lakers, with LeBron James and another team, he's going to get paid and he's going to get the bag. And of course, given what LeBron James has said over the last couple of months, you have to put that Bronny James situation on the table as well, because LeBron wants to play with his son. There's also this to the equation. LeBron is always unpredictable. Going back to St. Vincent St. Mary, going back to the Cleveland Cavaliers, to the Miami Heat, and now with the Los Angeles Lakers. You never know what's going on in between the ears of LeBron James, so that thought process coming from HoopsHype doesn't surprise me one bit. You know what's crazy, though? How good of a year LeBron is coming off of, considering the fact that he's 37 years old. It really was miraculous, and if the Lakers were a better basketball team, I think you have to make the argument that he'd be one of the front runners for most valuable player. In 56 games played, of course, games played also factoring into why he wasn't really one of the MVP front runners, but still, 37 years old, he was averaging 30 points per game. He was also tied for 25th in the NBA in dimes per night, north of 6. The near 22 field goal attempts per game were his most going back to the 2007-2008 season. A big reason for that, the Lakers were just a bad team, and that's not sustainable for the long haul. Almost 3 3-point makes per game. That was nearly 1.5 over his career average, and when healthy, the King, LBJ, he carried Los Angeles. Now, what is also a problem with how he ages and these contract extension talks is the fact that LeBron James, with the purple and gold, has missed a lot of time. 2018-19, he had that groin issue, missed 27 out of 82 games. During the bubble season, he was healthy. Him and Anthony Davis, that's a big reason why they won the NBA championship. The franchise's 17th to tie them with the Boston Celtics. Only missed 4 out of 71 matchups. But then 2 years ago, 27 out of 72. And this past year, something similar. He missed 26 games as we went back and reverted to a full 82-game schedule. Now, LeBron James can still play. He just needs help. And it's going to be paramount this offseason for the Lakers to give him that aforementioned help. Some nights, he can give you 30 points per game, and he can be relied upon to carry the team on his shoulders offensively and defensively, but it's not sustainable for him to do that night in and night out, considering the age, the mileage on the tires, and how much he's played throughout the regular season, but also the several seasons on top of that with all of the combined playoff games. So you're in the shoes of Rob Pelinka, Laker Nation, and I want to hear from you in the comment section right now, and get that comment section popping. Would you offer LeBron at 37, given the signs of decline and contract extension? E for extend, W for you'd rather wait. Let me know down below. Also, today's show presented to you by our fine sportsbook partner, BetUS. All year, they've been offering the best deal in the game that any sportsbook has to offer, a 125% deposit bonus if you go to chatsports.com/Lakers and enter the promo code Lakers125. Eastern Conference odds, they have certainly shifted over the last couple of days. Producer Jack Lauderay, he's a Celtics fan, and I know a lot of you watching, you don't like the Celtics, but you have to admit, they're playing really good basketball, and because of that, leaders to win the East at plus 175, followed by the Miami Heat, Milwaukee Bucks, Philadelphia 76ers, and the Brooklyn Nets. The disastrous Brooklyn Nets. How about we pivot over to the Western Conference odds right now? We've seen a shift there on that side of the equation as well. Golden State Warriors plus 125, followed by the Phoenix Suns, deadlocked in that series with the Pels at 2-2. Memphis Grizzlies, Dallas Mavericks, Utah Jazz, rounding out those Western Conference playoff odds. Get those bets in thanks to BetUS by going to chatsports.com/Lakers. Enter the promo code Lakers125. We can't do a show without talking about the latest Los Angeles Lakers head coaching rumors. James Borrego of the Charlotte Hornets, fired over the weekend by Michael Jordan, dismissed in a surprise move after an elimination game in the play-in tournament. Back-to-back years in which Charlotte has improved their win total and in doing so, made it to the NBA play-in tournament. More success than they've had in a long, long time. I actually really like James Borrego. I'm not sure he's going to be a fit in Los Angeles. I think they're going to go after a more proven name. But year in, year out, I thought the Charlotte Hornets were able to do some pretty solid things. Debut season, they go 39-43, which was better than anything that they had done. 2019-20, a little bit of a step down during a COVID-challenging season, 23-42, but still ninth in the East. And then 2 years ago, 33-39. This past year, they improved their win total in a loaded and competitive Eastern Conference by 10 games. Yeah, they still finished 10th, but that was a byproduct of the East being as deep as it's been in a really long time. While Borrego is no longer the head coach of the Charlotte Hornets, he's going to land on his feet very, very soon. And I think this was somewhat of a panic move by Michael Jordan, who as a basketball owner and basketball executive has made some of these dumbfounding decisions before when it comes to the NBA draft, free agency, or with the head coaching carousel that we've taken place ever since he's been the owner of the Bobcats and now the Hornets. MJ, great player, best of all time, good basketball executive and good owner? No, because when you're making these type of panic moves, there's no ability to have stability within your franchise. That is no way to run a business. Should the Lakers hire Borrego? Let me know in the comments section. Are you interested in him to take over for Frank Vogel? Get those votes in before we get to some really juicy Los Angeles Lakers rumors. Type an H for hire or a P for pass. While you're down there, make sure you subscribe to the channel by hitting that red subscribe button. This is your one-stop shop for all things Laker Nation all throughout the offseason. News and rumors, head coaching search, free agency and trade rumors, interactive mailbags where we interact with Laker Nation. Past couple of weeks, we've had a bunch of people join the Laker Nation family here at Chat Sports. Be the next one and be smart about it by going to youtube.com/LakersTV or hit that red subscribe button. To some juicy Lakers trade rumors and trade speculation now. Nick Wright, Fox Sports 1, tweeting this out over the weekend. The only logical solution is a sign-and trade. Kyrie Irving from Brooklyn to Los Angeles to reunite Kevin Durant with Russell Westbrook. A KD and Russ reunion, he said, and a Kyrie and LeBron reunion. I suppose the Lakers might also throw in a pick or two. The only problem for the Lakers, they don't have a first-round pick until 2027. They surrendered those selections to trade for Anthony Davis. It would obviously have to be something else than just a player-for-player swap. Russ for Kyrie straight up probably isn't going to move the needle for Brooklyn, and they are going to be, if they're not already, desperate to win. Because so far, what do they have to show for with KD, Kyrie, and one season of James Harden? One playoff series win. I think they're going to go out in flames to the Boston Celtics. But it is an interesting conversation to have because we know by now the Lakers want to move on from Russell Westbrook. And are the Nets going to blow it up? And do they even want to pay Kyrie Irving considering his lack of availability a couple years into his tenure in Brooklyn? Now, as for the financial incentives to this, Kyrie, player option for next year, $36.9 million. Russ, a player option for $47 million. So you'd have to throw in another contract, some more pick compensation in order for this deal to be equal for both sides, but it's certainly interesting. And Kyrie teaming back up with LeBron James, maybe that experiment goes better than Kyrie teaming up with KD. And can you imagine being Kevin Durant, leaving the Golden State Warriors, leaving a stable situation, leaving an opportunity to win championships year in and year out, and having that great stable force with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Steve Kerr, as well as Bob Myers. It wouldn't be me, KD. That's a blunder right there. Should the Lakers try to land Kyrie? He is obviously a controversial figure who is one of the most magical offensive players that we have seen in recent history. Type Y for yes, type N for no. As for what Kyrie did this past year, wasn't available for a lot of home games until the back end of the year because of the New York City vaccination laws. When he was on the floor, he was excellent. And that's never been the problem with Kyrie. He's always been excellent. He's always put up a lot of numbers. He just hasn't been available enough, whether it be because of injuries or just antics off the court. 27 points per game, nearly 6 dimes, shot nearly 47% from the deck and almost 42% from downtown. The big problem, only 29 games played for Kyrie Irving. For me, he's one of the best finishers at the rim among all guards that I've seen in NBA history, and with the basketball on a string, has one of the best handles that we've ever seen. So the pros and cons of adding Kyrie to your roster, they're well documented to this point. I just got done complimenting Kyrie's game, but he's never available, and you never know what's going on inside the mind of Kyrie Irving, whether it be the flat earth theory or something else out there where he just doesn't show up to games without notifying his head coach in Steve Nash. And how about last year or a couple years ago, him saying, I don't even think we, as the Brooklyn Nets, need a head coach. Me and KD, we're going to be able to shoulder the load and lead the Nets to the promised land without a head coach. Think about this, Kyrie. Any dynasty that's taken place in major professional sports history, it's always been a really good coach coaching those teams. You can't get it done with just players. That's why coaches are paid big sums. Now make sure you subscribe to the Lakers Report if they trade for Kyrie, if they re-sign LeBron James, if they make a move in free agency, if there's a juicy rumor that we have to explore. We have you covered right here on the channel. Hit that red subscribe button, enter that link at the bottom of your screen, youtube.com/LakersTV, and keep it locked for more Lakers coverage.